It had been a morning of building. Katie learned that to build a house with blocks, the walls had better be straight or the whole thing would fall down. Orbie discovered that making a tower was tricky because it often fell over before you got a chance to knock it down. And they both found out that when you build a road from your room to Mom's, it takes a lot more blocks than you'd ever think. The building had been a lot of work, and Katie decided that after being a road builder, it was a great idea to be a book reader. Orbie thought lying on the floor and listening to his favorite song would be the next best thing to do. He put his tape in the tape player and his song started to play. Orbie swayed to the music and moved around the room, and when he got to the best part of the song, he turned the music up a little louder. Katie found it a bit hard to concentrate on the pictures with all the words from the song so loud in her brain, but she saw that Orbie was having the best time, so she tried hard to read anyway. Orbie bounced and jumped and loved getting the beat just right, and to do that, he turned the music up even louder. Katie looked at him. His music was so loud, even the pictures in Katie's book seemed to be bouncing up and down. Katie shouted to Orbie that she was going to go and look at her book outside. Orbie nodded his head and bopped along beside her, making her laugh as she left the room. Alone and just feeling like the music could fill his whole body. He turned it up a little more. It was his most favorite song ever. Orbie started to toot along with the music as he danced and twirled. And Mom walked by the rather noisy door and told Orbie that she was going to shut it because she had a business call to make. And Orbie smiled and bopped over to Mom and gave her a kiss on her cheek. And Mom shut the door and went downstairs. In the kitchen, Mom dialed the number and waited for an answer. Upstairs, the music was pounding. It was actually starting to pound right through the floor. When the person Mom was calling answered the phone, Mom spoke in her business voice. It was a little hard to hear, but she managed. Outside on the lawn chair, Katie found her toes tapping to the beat of Orbie's song. But at least it wasn't booming in her ear. Upstairs with the loud music, Orbie was having the time of his life. He had a hat from the costume box on his head. The feathers on the hat were waving to the beat, too. Orbie thought if the music was just a little louder, he could dance even better. And so he turned it up again. By this time, Mom downstairs in the kitchen, still on the phone, realized that she could barely hear the person who was talking on the other end. She apologized to them in a loud voice so she would be heard over the music, and she told them she'd have to call back. And with that, she hung up the phone and headed for the stairs. Outside, Katie was starting to have trouble hearing herself think. The music was getting louder and louder. She ran inside to ask Orbie to please turn it down, and she met Mom on the stairs. Mom told her she couldn't hear herself think either, and they hurried toward Katie's room. When they opened Katie's bedroom door, the music was so loud they had to cover their ears. Mom raced over to the tape machine. Orbie didn't even notice him. He was leaping and spinning and dipping and kicking, just loving his song. So when it disappeared, Orbie almost fell over with surprise. For a tiny second, he thought the tape had broken and spun around to see Mom and Katie looking at each other with relief. The noise was finally gone. Orbie burbled that he was just dancing, not doing anything wrong. And Mom nodded her head. He was right. She sat Orbie on the bed and put her arm around him. She told Orbie that both she and Katie loved his song and were so happy that it made him dance and sing and have fun. They really didn't want to ruin his music time, but he needed to know that the loud music played over and over and over again, was making it hard for anyone to do what they had to do. Orbie didn't understand exactly. After all, the door was closed. No one else was in the room. Mom told him that his music was so loud that even downstairs in the kitchen, she couldn't hear the other person on the phone. He told her that the door was closed, and Mom smiled. Exactly, she said. Katie pointed out that when she couldn't concentrate in her story in the bedroom, she'd gone outside. At first it was fine, but then as the music got louder and louder, even outside wasn't fine anymore. Orbie looked at the two people that he loved so much. In a trillion years, he never meant to bother them. And Mom told him that music that loud was also very bad for his ears. It was important to take care of your ears because they had to last you a lifetime. Orbie apologized to everyone. The next time he played his music, he would play it quietly. Katie and Mom thanked him, and everybody hugged. Orbie wondered if they wanted to hear it right at that moment. In fact, nobody wanted to hear that song again for a long, long time. It was then and there that Mom had the best idea. She thanked Orbie for wanting to play it softly, but told him that they needed a break from it. They were getting a bit tired of hearing the same thing over and over. Mom took the hands of Katie and Orbie and suggested a walk to the ice cream parlor would be the perfect and quiet solution. And I have to say, it was. And from that day on, Orbie remembered that there are times when it's okay to play your music loud, and times when it's important to consider others and turn it down. The next time you listen to your favorite song, I'm sure you'll find out first if it's a loud or soft music day at your house. And I know that everyone who lives there will really appreciate it.
Did you know? Lots of animals wear disguises. In the winter, the Arctic fox and the Arctic hare change the color of their fur from brown to white. That way, they can hide in the snow. Zebras also have great disguises. When they stand in a group, all of their stripes blend together.